Hello and welcome to the second episode of my The Last of Us Faction Survival Guide. In this video we will be covering the second of three game types, Survivors, a round-based team deathmatch mode that should make old-school SOCOM fans feel right at home. Survivors is a game mode that builds off the standard team deathmatch format for most multiplayer games. Its major catch is also one that many games share, as it is a round-based mode where players only have one life per round. In Survivors, teams of 4 work together to win a best-of-7 series. The team that reaches 4 round wins first wins the game. The structure of this game type will feel familiar to many players, and SOCOM fans should feel right at home with Survivors. Like all game modes in The Last of Us, there are red supply boxes scattered around the map. These can contain crafting items, parts, and weapons. There are more supply boxes in Survivors, often behind cover. Unlike Supply Raid, items you craft will not carry over after you die, so players should make sure they maximize the arsenal they are given each round. Depending on how a team is doing, the balance of items given in supply boxes will change. A struggling team will be given more items to get an advantage on their opponent, while a team that is dominating its enemy will be left at a disadvantage. Survivors also contains the last one standing mode seen in Supply Raid. When only one player remains on a team in a round, the game will alert them with a message on screen and give them an instant parts bonus. Those parts can be utilized to upgrade weapons, refill ammunition, or purchase armor. Additionally, the minimap will briefly highlight the location of enemies by sending out pulses that refresh every 5 seconds. If teamwork is important in Supply Raid, it is absolutely vital if you want to have a hope of lasting in Survivors. Lone wolves will be at an immediate disadvantage, as you will easily find yourself outnumbered and outgunned. Staying near teammates and working together will give your team an advantage if your opponent is disorganized, or keep you on even terms with a team that is working together. Moving as a group will also make it easier to heal and revive fallen teammates, without having to risk moving from cover to reach them in time. In Survivors, this is even more important due to its round-based nature. If a player is executed or bleeds out, they sit on the sidelines until the next round. As the name of this game type suggests, matches can often become less about eliminating your opponents and more about surviving and outlasting them. When a round comes down to the line, a team with more players left can outweight their opponent and win the round as long as they maintain their advantage in numbers. Patience is key, and making the wrong move will result in a quick death. Among the variety of tricks that players can utilize in Survivors mode, a high-risk, high-reward strategy of leaving downed opponents out in the open can lure enemies out of cover, making them easy targets. You will, however, run the risk of the downed opponent reaching a teammate, allowing them to be revived and extending the battle. Another important element of The Last of Us is managing your crafting items and spending the parts you earn efficiently. Armor is more effective and much more important in Survivors. The additional protection it gives can be the difference maker in being downed by an enemy, killing the enemy, or escaping into cover. The life-saving protection does carry over round to round as long as it hasn't been destroyed, and if it is, it will cost players more parts to replace it. Weapon upgrades are useful for their increased magazine capacity and higher rate of fire, but they do not provide improvements to damage, so players can get by without them. Most importantly in Survivors, avoid the sprint button at all costs. Stealth and the element of surprise may be more important here than in any other mode in The Last of Us. You will always want to keep moving, but a well-timed surprise attack on the enemy team can leave them devastated. Survivors won't be friendly to newcomers of The Last of Us factions. Teamwork is absolutely vital, and the one life per round structure will scare some players off. This game type undoubtedly has a SOCOM-esque vibe that will appeal to longtime fans of that series. The importance of the single-player campaign's core mechanics of stealth and crafting is amplified in Survivors, and the constant threat of death eliminating you from the remainder of that round increases the intensity tenfold. Thank you for watching this episode of my The Last of Us Faction Survival Guide. Join me next time when we cover Interrogation, the third and final game type with a very different twist to its objective. Teams of 4 face off against each other with the goal being to score more kills than their opponent. In addition to their initial spawns, both teams will have 20 additional spawn tickets. Once your team's tickets run out,